I, 50 female, lost my husband 4 years ago. I also have a teen daughter. My late husband left me everything and told me to trust his lawyer. My husband had worked for 20 years as a doctor and did some minor investing, so I inherited over 7 figures. A year later, I decided to list our home of 12 years and received an offer too good to refuse. With the inheritance and the influx of cash from selling the house, I decided to move my daughter and me to Malibu because we always dreamed of a home next to the beach. But my husband was exceptionally tight-fisted and called homes there money pits. We found a beautiful home by the sea. I had never personally handled anything regarding buying a home before, so I didn't anticipate all the extra cost beyond the sticker price. But my daughter was so excited, so I decided to go for it. My late husband's lawyer was furious at my decision, so I decided to stop taking his calls. I ended up signing with a money manager who said we'd be passively earning 90% of what surgeons earned annually. But the money manager ended up tanking a lot of our investments. So I took the dwindling money out and made my investments, which made it worse. And long story short, because of all that, I only have around $35K available to me now, not to mention our debts. So with the amount available to me, I'm looking at only being able to pay 1 month of a mortgage and upkeep, and then I'm basically out of luck until my business gets clients. However, the place where we do have a significant amount of money is the funds my husband started for our daughter. With the money there, I could prevent our credit cards from being shut down and not have to worry about the mortgage for many more months. So I ended up liquidating my daughter's college fund. I told her about it today, and she was furious, and she said she couldn't believe all her dad's work was gone. She also said she wouldn't be supporting me for retirement. Am I the idiot for trying to fix my mistakes and trying to keep our house? You're an idiot and a moron, a dangerous combo. You blew millions in a few years, being an absolute tool. What makes you think you won't just spend away your daughter's money too? You decided not to listen to the lawyer. You decided to move to a costly place. And you decided to trust somebody's shady advice. That money is not yours. You should be ashamed of yourself. I can't. There's just so much stupidity in this story. It hurts my brain. Yeah, wow. You're kidding, right? You flushed down the drain in a matter of no time a 7-figure savings that your husband worked hard for. You stopped picking up on your husband's lawyer's calls because you were too arrogant to listen to his advice, despite your late husband explicitly telling you to. And to make things worse, you stole money that doesn't belong to you. That college fund belonged to your daughter, and you had no morally acceptable reason to liquidate it, and not even tell her before that. I'm sure your husband is rolling in his grave about how much you have royally messed up. Oh my God, I've never seen a more financially illiterate individual. Honey, you've ruined your entire financial future for a vanity house and used your teenage daughter's excitement instead of your lawyer's advice as an assurance of this decision. I'd be on the lookout for your daughter exploring emancipation because of your financial illiteracy. Exactly. And she continues to try and blame the daughter. Any kid who just lost their father would be excited about a brand new house and life right on the beach. That doesn't mean you go ahead and do it. OP, your stupidity is what drives you to where you are, and you just screwed over your own daughter's future, doubling down. I hope she sues your dumb idiot. Stop digging this hole deeper. My husband and I welcomed twins into the world a couple of weeks ago. It has been a crazy whirlwind experience for us. I'm a childhood cancer survivor who was told I was infertile due to my treatment. My husband and I spent many years trying for a baby anyway, with no success. We also started to save money for IVF to see if there was any hope for us to conceive. We had gotten close to our goal when I learned I was pregnant. My doctors were surprised because they knew I had tried and that the treatment I underwent meant that it was so rare to get pregnant, let alone naturally. To learn that it was twins was an even bigger surprise. Someone we know suggested that not actively trying and focusing on other things might have allowed my body to let it happen. I'm not sure, but we were grateful for the chance to be parents to these babies. Even with the complicated pregnancy, I felt like I had won the lottery. And the fact that I could deliver 2 healthy babies is incredible to me, given everything. The problem is my in-laws. My husband is an only child because my mother-in-law suffered a placental abruption when she was 34 weeks pregnant, and it required an emergency C-section, and my husband being born early. Their side is big on honor names, so he has 4 names, all after his 4 grandparents, exact names of his grandfathers and male variants of his grandmother's names. My in-laws were expecting us to do the same and thought it would be even easier for us since we had twins and a boy and a girl. But we wanted to give our kids their own names. We wanted them to have names we love and chose for them. We waited until the babies were born to announce the names, and my husband received many calls from his parents afterward saying that they were hurt, that we chose not to honor them, and how we could give the only children we'll ever have these random names instead of loving family names. It has been pretty consistent. My husband went out to buy groceries for us the other day, and I was home alone with the babies when my in-laws called me to bring the topic up to me for the first time. They asked how I could name our miracle babies anything but the names of their 4 loving grandparents, and did I even care about the fact these would be their only grandchildren ever. I told them they should appreciate having grandkids, given the circumstances, instead of acting insulted that we didn't name them after them. I told them these babies were a huge surprise, but we loved and wanted them, and they should enjoy them now that they have them. They told me I just couldn't dismiss their feelings like that, and hung up. They told my husband I insulted them. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, obviously, and congratulations. Let them talk. They're just moving air. Enjoy those precious but quick moments. I have my 2-month-old sleeping on me at the moment, and let hubby handle his parents. Moreover, who would want to name their babies after people that entitled and selfish enough to annoy you 2 weeks into postpartum? I was thinking the same thing. Like if I were in OP's shoes, even if I had been entertaining the idea of naming the babies after the grandparents, their behavior sucks so much that now I wouldn't even name a hamster after them. You are correct in that they should be happy that both babies are healthy and loved. Hamsters don't deserve that, even grumpy ones. Instead, adopt a blobfish and honor that name for them. I actually really like my mother-in-law's name, but I'll be darned if I named a kid after her for how awful she's been over the past 18 years. Didn't have a daughter anyway, so it was a moot point, but no way I would ever have anyone think I was honoring that woman, even if it was one of my top favorite girls' names. OP, they will sabotage your relationship with your husband by telling lies and showing their real face. I hope your husband will be at your side and not be manipulated by them. You need to have a serious talk with your husband about how he needs to shut this down since it is his parents. You also need to be careful that these people don't start calling your kids by the wrong names as they get older. Congratulations on your babies. I am stunned that the in-laws just can't be happy. I got a new job in another city. This new job pays a lot better than my last job. The problem is that my new job is 13 hours away from my ex's city, and we have a teen daughter together. My daughter wanted to come with me. We've been here for a few weeks, and she's enjoying our new home and school and already has made new friends. The problem is my ex wants to keep our last custody agreement. We didn't go to court, so it's just something we agreed on, which is 1 week with me and 1 week with her, which just doesn't work anymore because she has to go to school. Now she wants to change it to weekdays with me and weekends with her, but I think it would be a waste of money to buy so many plane tickets, especially since my daughter doesn't exactly care about seeing her, and it'll also be very tiring for her. I offered to send my daughter there once a month, but my ex still thinks I'm an idiot. Sure, I can't afford to send her every week, but she's a teenager with a life, and I think every week is too much, and my daughter agrees with me. So I think offering once a month is actually a generous offer. So am I the idiot? You are the idiot. You moved 13 hours away Knowing you have a teen daughter, how did you ever think this would have ever worked logistically? Did you think your ex would just relinquish her parental rights? Your ex should get an attorney and take you to court immediately. She'll probably win as you were the person who chose to move away. You're the person denying equitable visitation, not your ex. OMG, how do you think changing a 50-50 custody agreement to one where your ex sees her child 2 days a month is remotely fair? Are you planning on seeking child support on top of that? Also, most states, it is illegal to transport a child over state lines without the consent of both custodial parents. I'd be surprised if you don't end up in court for taking her daughter 13 hours away. Exactly. The best part is that because it's been a short time, the court case will be in the old location. It is in your child's best interest to maintain a healthy relationship with her parents. If concern for your daughter were paramount, you'd do this differently. It sounds like you're way more concerned with sticking it to your ex. Agreed. OP is mad at his ex and uses their daughter to take it out on her. I can almost guarantee it. Your ex has every right to be upset. She has every right to not be happy with the new arrangement, and you're acting ridiculous to expect a person to not want to see their daughter for more than once a month. You're not a single dad, so you can't make these plans unilaterally without a headache. And now you're facing the headache. Good luck in court. I, 25 male, have 2 parents. My birth dad, John, 48, and my other dad, Dwayne, 45. I call my birth dad, John, Dad, and I call my other dad, Dwayne, Pops. My birth dad, John, was married to my mom for a few years. Then she left my dad. And yeah, they ended up divorcing, and now she's somewhere in California. I don't know where or what she's doing. I haven't talked to her in ages. So I'm super close with Dad and Pop. They're the best parents any child could ask for. I love both of them, and they've always been with me. My dad introduced me to Pops when I was a little boy, and they told me that they were in a relationship. And I was all for it because I had seen my dad become lonely and sad when he was single. So seeing the fact that my dad loves someone and has a life partner made me super happy. Pops and Dad got married, and we've been living a fantastic life. I'm closer to Pops than my own dad, haha, due to the fact that Pops is really cool and he's laid back. I love both of them equally, and they love me as well, and I'm blessed to have them as parents. For a few months, I've been dating this girl, Bella, who's my age. I thought she was pretty cute, and I liked her. So we kicked it, and recently she told me, "My parents want to meet your parents and want to come over for dinner." I said, "Sure, I'll tell my family." So yesterday, Friday night, Bella comes in. Pops greets her and says, "Come on in, sweetheart. Dinner's ready." She says, "You must be OP's dad. So good to meet you." And she shakes his hand. And then she sees Dad come out of the kitchen. He's holding the mac and cheese tray with the mittens and is putting it on the table. Then Bella said, "Who's he?" I said, "Oh, that's my dad." She said, "I thought he's your dad." She was referring to Pops. I said, "Yeah, that's my pop. And that's my dad." She pulls me to the side and says, "I didn't know your parents were gay." Oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I didn't know why it would be an issue, because you're dating me, not my parents and all, so it shouldn't matter. But I guess it was a concern for her. Her parents came to the door after they parked the car, and Bella told her parents, "Let's leave," and they left. I told my parents I was sorry, and they said, "Son, don't worry, this is nothing new, haha." And then we all sat down and enjoyed dinner and went to sleep. So, am I the idiot for not telling? Not the idiot, but perhaps naive. Unfortunately, it's probably better to let a girlfriend know that you have 2 dads, so you can weed out the morons before you accidentally bring them home for dinner. Even so, we'll be meeting my dad, his name is John, and my pops, his name is Dwayne. I can't believe you got to the stage of her meeting your parents without you ever talking about them. The reason to say something is not because it matters to your relationship, but because it'll help her develop a relationship with your dads if she makes a good first impression. Most people will be surprised because of the heteronormativity, but also because it's just not average. Yeah, I'd give anyone meeting my parents a heads up. Hey, you'll be meeting my mom and her boyfriend. I don't have contact with my dad. Not because my family is wrong or shameful, but why would you not just give basic info so no one is surprised? It seems like OP set up some kind of gotcha moment to catch his girlfriend, which works in this situation since apparently she's homophobic. But even someone who isn't like that is going to be surprised that you didn't mention she'll be meeting two dads, not a dad and a mom. Why wouldn't you set your partner up for success? Exactly. I'm a little surprised that if you've been dating someone for months, have you never talked about your childhood or family, never shared intimate information, memories, stories, life philosophy? OP, you've dated this girl for months. How's the subject of parents never come up? After my parents divorced, Dad met Pops, and Pops raised me as his own. Seriously, what did you two talk about? Not sure what you're trying to get at here. He probably should let prospective girlfriends know so he doesn't accidentally expose his poor dads to hate. They might be used to it, but they don't deserve it. I don't think that OP owed her any explanation. OP, did she ever tell you her parents are straight? The only part I found confusing about your story is that you're referring to her as your girlfriend, not an ex. My 24 female sister, Hannah, 21, is getting married in May. She's been planning her dream wedding since before she was engaged and has a very specific image of what she wants. We picked out the bridesmaid dresses in January, and they're all the same style but with different shades of the same color. Unfortunately, in late March, I was diagnosed with a condition that I'm going to be receiving treatments for via port until mid-June. Due to the port's placement, the neckline of the bridesmaid dress I'm supposed to wear is extremely uncomfortable. So when we went in for our final fittings, I requested that the neckline be slightly looser to accommodate this. Hannah was angry by this request because, in her words, it made the dress look trashy because all of the other dresses were very fitted and mine would be a bit bigger on top. I told her that if she wanted me to wear the dress, then it would need to be altered to be more comfortable. I was then informed that my dress looking out of place would be something she remembered when thinking of her wedding. She said I was selfish for not sticking through mild discomfort for one day to help make her dream wedding a reality. It hurt to hear that, and after considering my options, I pulled out of the wedding. I let her know and said that I'll still come to the wedding and wear an approved dress, but that I'm not willing to place perfect pictures over my own comfort. This has caused a rift in our relationship and an argument between the wedding party. The maid of honor sent me a message chewing me out for pulling out a month before the wedding, and I'm honestly not sure how to feel about the whole situation. On the one hand, I do feel guilty for not supporting my sister, but on the other, I'm hurt by her placing her wedding over me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Don't disturb your port just so your sister can have perfect pictures. No one but her will care that your neckline is slightly different. Everyone who's gotten married, how many times since have you gone back and looked at your wedding photos? How often have you looked at your bridesmaid dresses and critiqued them? Literally never. Exactly. I actually look at my photos frequently, the Facebook album anyway, and the silly ones are my favorites because they have memories attached. My favorite wedding photo is when my niece cried hysterically because she wasn't allowed on my lap during the ceremony. My sister-in-law was trying to pull her off, and it was caught. And I'm planning on using that photo when she gets married. All my favorite photos are silly. You're not altering the dress to spite her or for looks. You have an unexpected medical condition, and this is one little thing you need accommodation for. Honestly, she's the idiot for putting looks first and your medical condition second. Her maid of honor is also an idiot for taking it upon herself to chew you out. Out of curiosity, have you shared this with your mom? What's her take on all of this? Our parents are paying for over half the wedding, and they aren't super happy but staying out of the drama. My mom says I made the right choice by pulling back as a bridesmaid, which means a lot, given that she's also had her fair share of medical treatments. I haven't heard as much from our dad, but last I knew, he was contemplating pulling back on the amount he's willing to pay. Hannah's future in-laws are the "it's the bride's day, it has to be perfect" type, which is probably part of why this is happening. I'm fully expecting her soon-to-be mother-in-law to hysterically threaten me within the next day or so.